Welcome nail queens back to today's tutorial. Today I'm showing you guys how to do 3 different ombres over dip powder, and if you want to get to a specific ombre, check out the timestamps in the description box below. It'll tell you exactly where to skip forward to. But the 3 ombres I'm going to show you are the tap method, which is the most common, the scrub method, which is, I don't know if it's more new, but I'm doing it now, and the glitter ombre method. For all of today's videos, you're going to need at the very least one of these eyeshadow brushes, but for the first technique, you're going to need 2. For this method, you're going to need 2 solid dip powders. This method works best if you pick colors that are in the same color family or very close in shade. You don't want to do 2 different contrasting colors. So for this method, I'm going to apply 1 layer of base over the entire nail. And then I'm going to dip the nail into the lighter of the 2 dip powder colors. Now comes the fun part, when you get to use your eyeshadow brushes. So you're going to apply a layer of base bond over the entire nail, and then you're going to grab one of the eyeshadow brushes and dip it in the darker color. So the one you did not dip into yet, you're going to use that color. The reason why it's called the tap method is because you're using a tapping motion to get the powder onto the nail. So you're going to tap, tap, tap until you get all the powder that you want all over the desired area of the nail. For me, that is the cuticle area of this nail. Do this until you're satisfied, tap off the excess, and then pull over the lighter color to your area and then tap the lighter color on the complete opposite end of the nail. The reason why we're doing this is because this is going to provide the fade ombre effect that we want. That looks absolutely beautiful already, but I am not done yet. I want to build up the opacity, so I'm going to go in for 1 more layer of this ombre. So I'm going to apply a layer of base bond over the entire nail. And when I start with the tapping, I'm not going to start with the dark color right now. I'm going to start with the light color. So if you finish with the light color, you're going to start with the light color. So whichever color you finished on, you're going to start with. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to use that tap, tap, tap method and tap the light color all over the nail area of the free edge. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to switch over to the darker color and finish off the entire design by tap, tap, tapping all over the top cuticle area. If you want to do a vertical ombre, you would do the same thing as you're doing now, except for you would do it straight ways instead of from top to bottom, you would do it from left to right. Because I like the blend here, I'm not going to repeat, but if you feel like you do not like the blend and you want to go in for a 3rd layer, by all means, go ahead. So I'm going to finish off this mani, putting activator and top coat, and then you can see the finished glossy product. So the scrub method has to be my favorite of the 2 solid ombre methods. For this one, you need 2 solid dip powders and only 1 ombre brush. You're going to take your base bond liquid and apply a generous layer all over the nail because you're going to dip into the lighter of the 2 dip powders like you did on the last one. And then switch over to the darker of the 2 colors, dip your brush into the darker color and start dabbing it on the nail. This is different because you're actually touching the brush to the nail. It's actually making contact. You're not just sprinkling it on. And then you're just going to, in windshield wiper motion, start moving the brush around the desired area that you want the powder to be in and scrubbing it on like you would put eyeshadow on your eyelid when applying makeup. It's very unlikely that you'll get the perfect fade and full opacity on the first layer, so you're going to have to repeat this step, apply a generous layer of base bond to the entire nail, and then dip the nail into the lighter color again. And remember, for the scrub method, you're actually making contact with the brush to the nail. So dab on the powder and then start scrubbing it around the area that you want the powder to be on. If you want to do a vertical ombre, like I mentioned earlier, you would do the same technique, except for you would do from left to right instead of top to bottom. Because I'm not satisfied with the fade or ombre, I'm going to go in for a third layer where I'm dipping in the lighter color and then I'm scrubbing on the darker color. This is what the almost finished product looks like. I'm going to apply my activator and top coat, and I'll be back to show you the beautiful finished product. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I like the fade. If you like the fade, let me know in the comments below. But without further ado, we're going to move on to the third and final method, which is the glitter ombre. The reason why I wanted to record this one is because I feel like it's different than the tap method and the scrub method, because for this method, you're only using one brush, but you're doing the tap method, so you're kind of doing both methods combined. So what you're doing is you're applying a generous layer of base bond onto the nail, and you're going to dip into your solid color. You're going to dip into this solid color 2 to 3 times until you can get full coverage of the color, because you want full coverage before you start applying your glitter. Now we're going in for the glitter part of this technique. So you're going to apply another layer of base bond to the entire nail, and then you're going to grab your ombre brush, your eyeshadow brush, whatever nail art brush you're using, dip it into the powder, and then sprinkle it over the desired area. If you want the powder to be on your nail tip, I recommend that you point your finger upwards towards the sky so that it is mostly concentrated on your fingertip. If you want the glitter to be at your cuticle area, I recommend that you point your finger downwards so that the glitter is concentrated at your cuticle area only. If your base bond dries too fast and you're not satisfied with the coverage of the glitter, apply another layer of base bond and sprinkle on more glitter until you're completely satisfied. Then, once you're done and completely satisfied with the coverage of the glitter, this is optional, but I like to do it so that my nail is completely even. You can pour over clear dip powder or dip it in. I choose not to dip because I don't want to contaminate my clear powder. That's why I pour it over. But applying clear powder helps my nail be completely even so I don't have bumpy ridges of glitter. And then after this, you can choose to finally encapsulate the whole nail in clear dip powder or leave it as is and continue on into your activator and top coat steps, which is what I'm doing next. So here is the finished product, and then here are all 3 methods compared right next to each other. And before you guys go today, thank you so much for watching, and I just want to let you guys know that if you're watching my videos, all 100% of ad revenue that is made in my videos for the month of June. All proceeds will be going and donating to an organization that supports Black Lives Matter. If you want more information on this, visit the community tab on my YouTube channel and you'll read more about my donation and why I'm doing this.